Well, the football season is officially closed. 2014 NFL season ended last night with the New England Patriots defeating the Seattle Seahawks 28-24 in Super Bowl 49. But that's not the biggest story to come out of it. The biggest story to come out of the game last night was Pete Carroll or the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks, or whoever. But the play calling at the end of the game when Marshawn Lynch. Now, think about this, folks. If you look back at that replay, Marshawn Lynch was about this close. Do you see it? Seahawks fans, tell me if you see it. This close to having Seattle repeat as Super Bowl champions. I mean, we all use that cliche from the movies. This is a game of inches. Well, it was last night. And credit New England for those big tackles, because if they don't tackle Marshawn, who just spread out in the backfield and was running to the end zone, if they don't stop him a yard short, guess what? We're not talking about New England winning their fourth Super Bowl. We're talking about Seattle repeating as champions. But no matter who it was, whether it was the offensive coordinator, whether it was Pete Carroll last night, and I know Pete is sitting there taking the blame because he's the head coach, and it's a great job by Pete Carroll taking the blame. He's the head coach. You go down with the ship. But I don't know what they're thinking. And Chris Collinsworth said it great last night. And he was adamant. I don't know what they're doing. I don't get that one bit. Now, this is my theory. Marshawn, we know, beast mode and all that with Lynch and everything. If they run the ball, which that was the high probability that they were going to do, that's what everyone in the arena, that's what everyone in the stadium thought that they were going to do. You know, this notion that it's automatic that Lynch gets in, I'm not saying that he doesn't, and I'm saying if they give the ball to Lynch, there's a 99 or 98% chance that Lynch gets in the end zone. But you got to look at numbers. You got all those Patriot defenders swarming up to stop Lynch, and they stopped him from going the extra yard the previous play. Who's to say that they don't stuff him again? So, you know, yes, you should have went with Lynch. If I'm the head coach of that situation, I would rather lose the game trying to punch it in with my best in Marshawn Lynch, who he doesn't have the nickname Beast Mode for anything. I would give Marshawn Lynch the ball and just punch it in and take the chance. He doesn't get it, but you know what? At least you're trying with your best option. With your best option. Russell Wilson last night, I thought the kid did okay. He came within an eyelash of beating Brady in the Super Bowl. But here's the thing that it takes away from everything else in the game towards the end. They don't give it to Marshawn. They decide to run a pass with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, you got to make a better throw than that. And we got to credit the rookie for New England for getting on that ball. And unfortunately, I think that takes away from the rook last night, making the play. A hell of a play. I mean, if he doesn't read that correctly and make a beeline, Russell throws that football, it's probably caught. And we're not criticizing Pete Carroll. You know, Pete Carroll has a strange way of doing things. And people were saying towards halftime, at the end of halftime, what is Pete Carroll doing? He's not going for the automatic three. And even I said, Pete, you got to go for the 3 points. This is the Super Bowl. You can't leave points out there. He gave it to Russell Wilson. He went out there. Russell threw a touchdown pass. Sometimes these gambles pay off. Sometimes they don't. Last night, unfortunately, it did not pay off. The gamble didn't pay off. And they could say all they want, Seattle. They gambled. They're a gambling team. Pete Carroll is a gambling head coach. The gamble didn't work out last night. And unfortunately, it was on the biggest stage. And he's going to get criticized for it. He's getting criticized by his players right now. Seattle, I think they'll be back next year. You got to figure, they lost their whole secondary this year. And they came back and they were right there. They got a good coaching staff. Seattle will be back. Question is, now what do we do at New England? I said, that's why I picked New England to win this game last night. You didn't know how much time Brady and Belichick have left together. And I'm not saying that this is going to be like Peyton Manning where he's just going to, keep losing playoff games. But as you get older, and Tom's no spring chicken, as you get older, people start to say how many more years you got left of greatness. Now, as long as the Patriots are in the AFC East, Patriots are going to be in the playoffs. But you got to figure Buffalo's getting better, Miami's getting better, and the Jets are in a rebuilding mode, but they're heading in the right direction. This was big for the Patriots last night to get that win and get that Super Bowl and get that 4th Super Bowl. And again, I don't like the move at all. Not running the ball. But you know what? So does 99 million other people in the world. So I'm just someone that is stating the obvious. But you got to figure, they run that play. They stuffed Marshawn running the other way. You had about 3 Patriot defenders on him. What's to say he doesn't run it up the gut and they stuff it again? It does happen. It has happened before. We've seen goal line stands. Nothing is automatic. People say, oh, they ran it with Marshawn, they're in. There's a very good chance they're in. There's a high probability that they're in. But they're not automatically in. You got to look at math. You got one guy running with about 3 or 4 guys on him. You got to do math. Sometimes the math doesn't add up. But New England wins 28-24. Belichick gets his 4th title, ties Chuck Noll. Brady gets his 4th title, and the only quarterback to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl is Eli Manning. So then we have to hear the Giant fans come out of their little squawk box and talk about this. We're the only be able to shut up. Go worry about what you got next year. You got a lot of good stuff. Worry about that next year. Don't sit there and dwell on the past, okay? If we wanted to dwell on the past, us Jet fans would be talking about something we did 45,000 years ago, and that was win a Super Bowl. But Patriots win 28-24. Seattle fails to repeat. New England gets, as Richard Sherman said, their 4th championship last night.